Hey everyone, it is Tuesday, July 23rd, 2013. This is Talk to Me Tuesday, number 102. Just a reminder, 2 weeks' time, August 6th at 12 o'clock midnight Eastern Standard Time, my time, is the deadline for the Christmas in July Ornament Challenge. So if you plan on entering, please make sure that I have received your entry before then. It can be a video response, it can be a slideshow, or if necessary, you can message me and I will provide you with my email address so you can email me pictures as well as the description. But 2 weeks time, folks, and that's it. So I still have to do my ornaments, so don't feel bad. Got an idea, just got to execute it. So the Great Summer Slim Down Challenge. Yours truly is not going to make the full 20 pounds worth of yarn, which is just fine. I'm having a little bit more fun with the challenge within a challenge. I mentioned last week that my project was going to be a pair of toe-up socks. Well, I ran into an issue with the heel, and even with Miss Erin being a sweetheart and trying to give me a hand figuring out this silly pattern, one that she's never seen, I've never seen. I frogged it. Yeah, folks, I frogged it. I had already started on something else that I had never done before to replace it because I had a feeling that it was going to get frogged. So one of the suggestions was Entrelac. Now, I've done Entrelac for crocheting. There are a couple different methods that you can do, and I've pretty much tried them all. So it wouldn't count for crocheting, but it would count for knitting. I have never in my life done Entrelac for knitting. I've read patterns and I'm like, yeah, right, okay, forget it. So I decided to hit YouTube, and one of the channels I'm subscribed to, Very Pink Knits, had an excellent video tutorial on Entrelac, and it actually goes along with a pattern for a free scarf from Ravelry. So I grabbed a scrap ball yarn, I grabbed a set of knitting needles, and this is my practice piece. It's not very big. I didn't intend it to be big. I just wanted to try the base triangles, tier 1, tier 2, and then the final triangles. So this is it. I've always liked the way Entrelac looks because it really looks like you just took big strips and wove them together. And the very first time I think I ever saw Entrelac, that's what I thought it was, but it's not. So there's my practice piece. And I decided that I was going to go ahead and make the scarf. And I went looking through my yarn, and then I was like, you know what, I've got this absolutely beautiful white yarn that I had started something else with and realized I probably wasn't going to have enough of. So I decided to frog that idea. It is called, whoops, hold on, we're getting tangled, Red Heart Baby Terry. And the color is white. And it feels just like a terry cloth towel. That's how the yarn feels. It's got that nubbly texture like a towel has, and it's oh so soft. So I decided I'm going to use this, and this is my scarf so far. This is just over 20 inches, if not more by now, of scarf. There's the bottom, and there's where I'm at so far. I love it. I think it's turning out absolutely beautiful, and it's so nice and soft, and it's just the right width. It's not too big, it's not too skinny, and I love it. I have never, like I said, never done Entrelac for knitting. If you've never done it, you really need to try it. I will put a link to the video tutorial, the Very Pink Knits website, as well as to the link to the free pattern for the scarf on Ravelry. And when you look at the scarf, it's absolutely gorgeous. But I like this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of the other skeins before I, jump into that skein and make a pair of fingerless gloves to go with this. No hat, folks, because I'm not a hat person. But I love it. It's so nice and soft, and yeah, it'll work well for the cold winter months when they arrive. So, the only other thing I have to show, since I ended up frogging the sock I had started working on for my daughter, Erin, let me tell you, she is a wonderful person to go to for questions. She does her best to answer them. And when I was having issues and she tried to help me, she said, you know what, you need to try this pattern. It's called Socks on a Plane. Not snakes on a plane, folks, but socks on a plane. She says it's a pattern she's used like 6 times. It's her go-to pattern. And let me tell you, I can see why so far. She said there is cabling on it. She said you can leave the cabling off if you want, but it's very simple. I checked it out. I'm reading the pattern. I'm like, that's it? Holy cow, you know? And I was actually going to leave the cabling out, but then I said, nah, you know what? I went and I bought those cable needles. I might as well use them. So here's the one I'm using, this nice pretty mint green one because it's the smallest one. And here is the sock. And I just started this sock yesterday. That is the sock, folks. Had a couple stops and starts to this. I was actually going to use a magic loop method, and I had started with that. The problem was that I was seeing laddering on the sides of the sock, and I didn't like that. So I went to my old standbys double pointed needles. The pattern actually calls for 2 circular needles, but I don't have 2 circular needles the same size. So much for that. But I love my double pointed needles. I don't care. I love working with them. So, but there's the sock. I don't know how well you can see it, but here's the cabling right in here. And I love it. I have never done cables on knitting. I have done cables for crocheting, but I have never done cables for knitting. And I have passed up many a patterns in my life because I'm looking at them cables saying, no. Looking at charts and saying, oh, heck no, not for me. And now I can go back and say, hey, I can do those. It's very simple. So, yeah, so I am working on my daughter's sock. I am about 1.5 inches away from having the foot part done, and then I go into the heel, do the top part, and it'll be done. And I can make the second one. And this is the left foot because the cabling is on the left side of the sock, and then the right foot, the cabling will be on the right side. But when I do myself a pair, I think I'm going to put cabling on both sides. I think that would be cool. I'd like to put it in the middle, but I don't think I could put it in the middle because of the double pointed needles unless I shift some stitches. But yeah, very simple. Look at that. Cool. So even though I'm not going to make the 20 pounds worth of yarn, I have, just in this little challenge, I'm only entering one project, but in this little challenge within a challenge, I've learned Entrelac, I've learned toe-up socks, and I have learned to do cables in knitting. So, yeah. Thank you very much, Erin. So other than that, that's it for me for crafting this week. I look forward to watching everyone's videos. I hope you all have a wonderfully crafty week and a wonderfully crafty weekend. Don't forget the deadline for the Christmas in July ornament. And other than that, I am out. And, yeah, for you, it's good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day, whatever it is. I really do hope it's a great one. And I'll see y'all next week. Bye!